Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Go Up Podcast Edition,
where we explore the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
We're your hosts. I'm Dean.
And I'm Karitas.
Karitas.
Yeah. Today,
we're going to talk about light.
Okay.
I think it's one of my favorite subjects.
What is light?
I think light is a lot of things, but we're going to have fun with it today.
Yeah.
Awesomeness.
I'm ready for it.
So I have some random light facts here today.
Okay.
Did you know that when light travels all the way from the other end of the galaxy, like from a star, it's a waveform, but as soon as we observe it, it changes into a particle.
What?
It literally changes forms from a wave to a particle when we look at it.
Okay, do you have a theory behind this? I know you have theories for things, like you've got that scientific pondering mind.
I think because we're beings of light, light responds to us somehow. I don't know.
It's like, oh, hello there, friend.
There you go. It's its wave. Hi.
Yeah, the frequency changes, you know?
Yes.
We've talked about this a few podcasts where
We sure have.
you get close enough to something and you start looking like it.
That's right.
Cool. It could sense the biophotons emitting from us, which is another cool thing. The glow is a thing. And why does it happen more when someone's pregnant? The pregnancy glow? Maybe because now there's two things?
Maybe. Well, evidently, when a baby is conceived, there's a flash of light. You're a nurse. You would know that.
And I was once a baby, but I don't remember that far back.
You don't remember the flash of light, do you?
Okay, so flash of light when you're born, glowing biophotons, apparently more so midday even, when they look at it with those super powerful cameras.
We are evidently pure energy.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're made out of energy.
Should I share my energy story?
You have an energy story?
Okay.
Do I even want to know what your energy story is?
When you're friends with a nurse, you're going to get weird stories.
Okay. Anybody listening, hopefully you're not at the dinner table right now.
It's not gross.
I don't know what she's going to say right now.
It's the moment in my young nursing career where I really realized that energy, it's either there or it's not. You just can't fake it.
You can't fake energy.
Okay, so I had this patient who passed away and his family was coming. So we're like, let's just do something really nice for this family and we'll move him into this private room, right? So how do you move this guy midday, discreetly? So I'm like, let's just make him look like he's sleeping. I realized in that moment, no matter what we did, we couldn't fake the sleeping. We couldn't fake just someone being alive without that energy source there.
Right.
I learned a very important lesson.
That is kind of important, actually.
Energy and light really make a difference. So,
Okay. I'll remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So light is made up of all the colors mixed together. Evidently, something that looks red has absorbed all the other colors except red is the only one that's reflected back to you.
So you see the red.
Yeah. Black, all the colors get absorbed.
Yeah.
So you see black, which is the absence of color.
Yeah.
White, all the colors get reflected. I used to love playing with light when I was a kid. I had a couple of prisms, and for some reason, I love looking at all of those rainbow of colors.
Oh, yes.
It fascinates me still to this day.
Yeah. Do you have a prism? Wait, you have one up here somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, there's probably a few of them back here on the back
Go on
wall.
your eagles.
Yeah.
And diamonds, light goes in and it kind of bounces around.
Yeah.
Trying to find a way out.
Trying to find a way out, gets trapped.
Oh, rainbows. That's another one. Light is going through water,
Yes.
separating the colors.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after the flood, God puts a rainbow in the sky.
Yeah.
Were there rainbows pre-flood then?
We don't really know, do we?
Yeah.
It never mentions
It
them.
almost makes it sound like there weren't. Like this was the first rainbow.
It says in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, that when God put the man on the earth, there was no rain yet. The earth was watered by a mist that used to rise up from the earth somehow. There's no record before the flood of there actually being any rain.
You've looked into this already.
Well, I haven't looked into it, but I have read Genesis 1 through 6, and there's no record of any rain.
Something extra funky happened during
Something
that flood.
extra funky happened during the flood that made it possible for rain to come down.
Do you have any Imagineering theories?
I do have a theory, but it's just a theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Do you think anybody in Let's Go Upland is going to
Fact checked.
fact check this? Okay, do not fact check this next little bit here. It says that God created the waters and he separated the waters down below from the waters up above. I think there was something in the heavens called a firmament. There are scientists that think there was a layer of water or vapor mist all the way around our Earth, acted as a big UV filter.
That's why there were no sunburns.
Yes, no sunburns. There was compressed atmospheric pressure, more oxygen. And I think at the flood, that thing burst and rain started coming down. That all fell. Waters coming up from the earth and waters coming down from the top created the flood. And I think after that, there was rain.
We've talked about this before, how risky it would be for anyone at work to ask you, "Penny for your thoughts, Dean?" If they ever see you gazing
Off into the distance. That's what I'm thinking about, folks.
How much time do you have? You want to know what I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
All right. Any other funk dubious light facts?
Let's see here.
Light's fast.
Light is very fast.
That's
the
what
light
it's called.
police.
The little police radar thing.
299,792,458 meters per second. That is in a vacuum, though.
No obstacles.
No obstacles. Once it hits things, light actually slows down. I guess if we hit things, we slow down too. The key to success is keep moving.
Keep moving. If there's an obstacle, just move through it. Just keep going.
That's right.
Mom's coming. Watch out. You were telling me this fact before about time. You can catch up to time.
Yes. The faster you move, the more time slows down until you get to the speed of light, time stops.
Right. And this is our New Year's anti-aging remedy.
That's right. If you want to live for a very long time,
How do I not
keep moving
age?
fast.
Yeah, just don't stop moving.
Go fast. That's right.
Light is pretty cool. Photosynthesis, plants being alive.
Yeah.
The light of the sun keeping our planet from being a cold, dark abyss.
Yeah.
Biophotons, bioluminescence in the ocean.
Evidently, light goes down about 87 meters into the ocean.
And when you get past that level, things start getting really weird. God got weird. Those creatures.
He took it to another level.
Next level.
Yeah.
It's like
Those creatures are...
flat out horrifying. Let's make this one's eyeball inside its brain.
But we are beings of light. All the light that we've been talking about up to now is all created light.
Yes.
But there is a God who is made out of uncreated light because he is the original light. There are two types of light.
Created light and uncreated light.
Yeah. If God is light, then he is uncreated light because God is not created. But the sun and the moon and the stars that give us the light that we have now, they were created by God. So the light that they emit and all the light sources that we make and that we manufacture, that's all created light.
And we are the light of the world. So it's like the big light, God, creates light. And then the little lights, us, create light.
I have a theory that the reason we can't see into the spirit world is because the light source is different. And we are programmed to pick up on a certain frequency of light that comes our way to our human eyes as receptacles. But our spirit being inside of us has another set of eyes that is conditioned to be able to see uncreated light. What do you think of my theory?
I like it. It makes sense. Wasn't Moses' face changed when he went up into the presence of the Lord? Didn't he come down the mountain?
Yeah, he came down glowing.
Glowing. And Jesus on his mountain transfiguration.
Yeah.
Not just glowing, but dazzling, different level.
It says his clothes became white as no launderer could ever launder. It actually says that.
Wow.
It was a different kind of white. It was a different kind of glow.
The word in the Greek that was used, exastrapto, to flash out like lightning, to shine, to be radiant. This is next level light, blinding.
Yes.
We were talking about Moses. There was this period of time where that kind of light had to be veiled. But we're in this time of unveiling, revealing,
Yeah.
radiating,
Yes.
Okay, let's go there.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
If this conversation is encouraging to you, consider hitting like and or subscribe. There's also the notification bell to get notificated. Our website.
Yes.
We're doing something new with our website.
Okay, it's alive now.
It's alive. It's full of light.
Things are going to happen.
Okay.
So we are going to start posting blogs
That's right.
every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Kind of midweek. Let's just put a fun little blog on there. So if you enjoy reading at letsgoup.us.
That's right. Because we are in this together. All right, Karitas.
Okay.
Do we have some good scriptures to start us off with?
Okay. So light. We've already talked about God is light.
That's right.
We are the light of the world, Jesus said.
Yep.
But then he looks over at us. Now you're the light of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got a good place to start right here.
All right, let's hear it.
Isaiah 60.
Oh, you're winding back. Yes.
Verse
Isaiah 60.
1.
Okay, let me find it here. Okay.
Arise and shine,
Bam.
for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. For behold, darkness will cover the earth, and deep darkness the people. But the Lord will rise upon you, and his glory will appear upon you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. So every morning when you rise,
Yeah, arise and shine. So I love that the glory of the Lord rises upon you.
yeah,
You just get out of bed, and the glory of the Lord is upon you. It's this effortless evangelism.
ooh,
You wake up and you're radiating him.
I like this.
You're not going by works and effort and trying and desperation, even though you desperately want people to walk in this because it's so epic.
All you've done is gotten out of bed.
But you just got to get out of bed.
That's right.
Simple.
That's all you have to do. Get out of bed in the morning.
And boom,
You are shining.
you arise and shine, my friend.
That's right.
The glory of the Lord rises upon you. Because, we are his temple. And it's like I just picture the sun rising up on this glorious, perfect temple. Magnificent. What a great way to wake up.
What a great way to wake up is right. So if we are created in the image of God, and God is uncreated light, then the light from our spirit being is uncreated light. We've been born from incorruptible seed. That makes us a being of light that's different from any other kind of light that we can see for sure.
To be born again as a new creation. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, how new is new? New creation, not polished up, shiny, made a little better. New, brand spanking new, an incorruptible seed. So you have the seed of uncreated light. He is light, so his seed would be light. And you're born again of a new father. This is like next level.
It is next level. We have no idea what kind of light we shine with and how brightly we shine.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is just believing him, waking up and believing him. I think the hindrance of this kind of light is almost like us covering it. Jesus talked about putting a cover over a light. I wonder how often we put that cover on unknowingly, just with incorrect belief systems. Does that make sense?
Whoa. I just have to think about that for a minute. That almost might be a mic drop right there. Can you say that again?
No. Okay. You're the light of the world, right? Don't put a basket over it.
Okay.
How often is that basket incorrect thinking or belief systems? Thinking you're broken, you still have darkness or
That's
a
so
broken
good.
nature. It's just incorrect thinking. Or maybe you've been taught that. Maybe that's the lens you're reading the word through.
This is giving me chills right now. That is so good, Karitas. That was a mic drop.
Wow.
Wow.
Light almost came out of that mic when it hit the ground.
Phew. Flash of light. That's something I'll be thinking about all week.
Okay. Isaiah 60. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The sun shall no longer be your light by day, nor for brightness shall the moon give light to you, but the Lord will be to you an everlasting light. When I hear that, I just hear, no longer do I need circumstances or situations to be any particular way for me to be okay. Because just like the sun no longer is my light.
Okay, Karitas. Now you're getting me excited. Okay. That verse there is actually really profound because in this world, we live under the light of the sun. We're under the sun. It says that in Ecclesiastes. We've talked about this before. Everything that happens in this world revolves around and is done under the sun. But that verse says that the light of the sun is no longer our light.
The other sun, S-O-N, is now our light.
All right. So the sunlight in our solar system is created light. But this other light source, that's uncreated light. So we have a new light source in our life.
And this new uncreated light source shall no longer go down, doesn't set, nor will the moon withdraw itself, for the Lord will be your everlasting light.
Everlasting, that's eternal.
Eternal, and the days of your mourning shall be ended.
No more mourning.
Kaput, done. That's it. That time of shame or regret, feeling unworthy, anything dark, it's over. That's it. It's gone. I think we can get to a place where you can't even find it. You can be so in the light, the new type of light, his light, that you can't even find it. What once was kind of in the back of your mind all the time, or, that bad season or whatever it was.
We have a new light source.
We have a new light source. Yeah.
And in the new light source, from the light of the Son of God, his face, his countenance, we no longer have darkness in our life. We don't have to normalize darkness anymore.
Yeah. And it's just the understanding of that and the acceptance of it. We have complete permission to live under the other kind of light.
Sure.
We have every right to wake up under the sun, S-U-N. But there's this invitation. It's available to us now to be alive in a time like this where that's available.
To live under uncreated light.
Yeah, where the days of mourning are over.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm getting so happy right now. We are definitely going up today.
We've just gone into Isaiah here.
I know. We haven't even gotten into the New Testament yet. I've got about 15 verses here, and I know you've got some too. So we can just trade Bible verses all day in this podcast. James 1:17-18. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom can be no variation, neither shadow that is cast by turning. If he's the Father of lights, and if we are beings of light, he's the Father of our light, which means, once again, this light is a chip off the same uncreated light block that our Father is.
Yeah.
Father of lights means the Father of the spirits, because our spirits are made out of uncreated light. We've thought for the longest time that the light that we carry was like a created light, but he fathered us. He's the Father of lights.
Yeah. And in him, there's no darkness. In our created light, you can have times of darkness or times of light, on and off, but him is just light. And that's this new environment we're meant to live from. The kingdom of light, the government of light, the realm of light, sons of light, children of the day. Listen to this glory bomb in 2 Corinthians 3. And we had talked about this a little bit earlier in the podcast, about Moses putting a veil over his face so that the children of Israel could not look steadily at the end of what was passing away. So he had this kind of light that was fading. Okay. When one turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away. Poof. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty, there's freedom. When that light is unveiled, there's this freedom. So freedom and light go hand in hand.
Yes, they do.
And we all, with unveiled faces, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord.
The same image.
Therefore, since we have this ministry, this brand new, not fading ministry like Moses' fading light, now that we have this unveiled light, uncreated light, we do not lose heart. Steadfast, oaks of righteousness.
That's kind of the same as it was saying in Isaiah. There's no more mourning.
So in the Passion, he says, we can all draw close to him with the veil removed from our faces, and with no veil, we all become like mirrors who brightly reflect the glory of the Lord Jesus. we are being transfigured into his very image as we move from one brighter level of glory to another.
Just a little further down in 2 Corinthians 4, verse 6, for God who said, light shall shine out of darkness, is the one who has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ.
Bazinga. Wow.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
So he's shone in our heart the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ.
So there's this age of glory we are in or entering in. I don't know if it's been from the moment Jesus came. I don't know much about it, but it sounds like we're meant to just keep living in the glory to glory to glory.
Karitas, right now, as we sit here on this podcast, there is a new age we're entering. Like you can feel it. There's an acceleration of so much revelation when it comes to things of the Spirit, when it comes to things of light, when it comes to things of our new nature, all of the things that are available to us. I feel like there's an explosion right now of understanding to all kinds of the coolest things ever. Us being able to move from one light source into the other light source, go from the world of the natural into the world of the spirit, because really the only difference between the two is the light source.
Wow.
Here we have a light source that is the sun. It's a created light source. There we have a light source that is the face of Christ. And that light source will illuminate that dimension, if you like, for eternity. There will be no more need for the sun because the lamp is the light of the face of Christ. So us being able to dimensionally shift between these two light sources, we are created in and out of that world. But we have a body that's here.
Yeah.
But even our body can be changed, transformed.
Yeah.
The same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead dwells in us and can quicken our mortal bodies. So our body can even be transformed. We're coming into some things right now that are just out of this world. We're coming into an age where people will live for a very long time. I believe life expectancy will be released, longevity, things like us being able to move through time and space. All of these things being released right now.
Yeah. Well, Jesus kind of lived a funky life, you know.
He sure did.
He came purposely as a man. Like, why didn't he just come down from heaven as this glorious heaven being? He was showing us, like, all right, guys, look at what you can do.
Look at what you can do exactly.
If you're born of the Father.
You know, I read the first 7 or 8 chapters of Matthew, and already Jesus had shape-shifted 3 or 4 times. He walked through a crowd. He walked on water. Okay, so what do you think happened when he walked on water? Well, all he's doing is he's shifting to a different dimension. When he sets his foot in that dimension, it's solid. So all of these things that he did, it all has to do with these worlds, these light sources.
And these things he did, I find one thing that I've realized in my own life is most of my life I related to the disciples in the boat.
Right.
Oh, Jesus is there. I could very easily relate to them. And I read the word from that angle. But when I started to realize how one with him we are and how serious he was when he said, as I am, so are you in this world, just as I am. And you start to realize the message he was basically trying to hammer into us. I recognize that I'm actually meant to relate to Jesus in that situation. How is he in this situation? Not how are the disciples experiencing for the first time this totally new way, not born again, but relating to the Son of God as sons of God.
He is our example, not the disciples.
He's the first of many.
Yes. Even after Jesus was resurrected, he just like walked through a wall and they're freaked out. And then it says in John, as he is now, the resurrected Jesus, so are we in this world. And the funny thing is, when he walked through the wall, he says, do you have a piece of bread or a piece of fish? If I were a spirit, I wouldn't be able to eat like this. Even then, he's like walking through things. He's shifting light.
And taking away the excuses.
Exactly. He's taking away all the excuses. It's like there is no excuse. This is only solid because in our minds, It's solid, the way that we see and the way that we think. But if we can shift our mind renewed to that other light source, this would no longer be solid and we could walk right through it.
If you wanted to.
If you wanted to. That's right. Bam.
Yeah.
Shall we start practicing?
And Paul would say things like that, just so I don't freak you guys out, I'll sound kind of sane for your sake. He recognized that it sounded completely insane and looked insane. But so that you can understand what I'm saying, I'll speak logically to you.
Right.
I'll dumb it down to the human realm.
Yeah.
When that veil was torn, much more is accessible than we realized. Much more was made available. Proverbs 4.
Oh, okay.
There's a good one in there. Rewind back into the old. The lovers of God walk on the highway of light, and this way shines brighter and brighter until they bring forth the perfect day. New King James, it says, but the path of the just is like the shining sun that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day.
The perfect day.
The perfect day.
Can every day be the perfect day?
I think so, Dean.
So the perfect day has nothing to do with the external circumstances. It has to do with the light source that you're under. Awesomeness.
Yeah, and nature, the world, and beyond responds. When he says creation is yearning for the sons to be revealed, how deep does that go? What are they yearning for? What is going to be broken free?
Do you think that applies to the creatures under 85 meters in the ocean?
They're like, help us, we're so ugly. You must beautify us with light.
We need light, please.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of what happens when you aren't in the light. Things get weird. The deeper you go, the weirder it gets. So, John starts off pretty bright.
John starts off bright and it just keeps getting brighter.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Yes.
The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it.
And further down, the one who is the true light, who gives light to everyone, was coming into the world, but they didn't even recognize him. He came to his own people, but to all those who believed him and accepted him, he gave the right to become the children of God.
Children of the uncreated light.
Children of uncreated light, that's right. I found this verse in 1 Thessalonians this week, 5:5. For you are all sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night or of the darkness.
Puts a deeper meaning to, this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
I think all of this is pointing to one thing in our conversation today, and that's the fact that when we are under the light source of uncreated light, the day looks different. There's no mourning, there's no sorrow, there's no darkness in it. And we here are called sons of light and sons of the day.
We are the lineage of light in the kingdom of light. So arise and shine.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, whatever's happening, that doesn't change.
That's right. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Yeah, see, and this is why when you come across things like rejoice always, pray without ceasing, in everything give thanks. Joy can be your continual feast, as it's worded, when you're waking up in this light that we were actually destined from the beginning to live in. We've been so used to living under the inferior light that we've normalized it and we've become very comfortable there because it's warm and cozy sometimes, and you kind of take the good with the bad. But we actually were destined from the beginning to live in unbreakable, consistent, pure, perfect light. And I think that can be a scary thought because we can't let go of the what ifs and situational whatever. That actually isn't our original design.
No, we were designed for uncreated light. It's a different light source.
Yeah. Let me give you this cool example. You're talking about a different realm.
Yes.
And being in two places at once, per
Yes.
se, and that's hard to wrap your mind around,
Yep.
right? You can maybe have a meditative state where you're very obviously in one, Jesus had these experiences, so that implies we can have these experiences. Many people have had these experiences. Enoch, this guy just kind of disappeared.
Yep.
A little while ago, I'm in the situation, not fun. It's in the hospital. What's going on? I don't know. Doctors are all trying to figure out their thing. Long story short, it was just my appendix being kind of a jerk.
Okay.
But before that, everything else in my body was reacting weird. And so they were throwing all these weird diagnoses at me. I was in the hospital for a week and maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And it kind of went from worse to worse and all these like ideas. And I just remember sitting in this hospital bed and waking up in the morning and the Spirit of the Lord just saying, arise and shine. Nothing's changed. Mm-hmm. And I just had this overwhelming desire just to glorify God and worship and praise him. And I heard this word portal, like open heaven. And I just kind of thought, like, how much power and authority do I have right now sitting here in this bed as the temple of the Holy Spirit, filled with the light, the original incorruptible light of life right here in a place that you can't try to get to. You need permission to go there, right? So I'm in this place that I wouldn't normally be in. And I could focus on all the things the doctors are worrying about and the nurses are worrying about. Or I could just be the light in that place, speak life into that place and bring angels into that place, call them into that place. They want us to call them into these places, shine in these places. Come on. Here's the place for you to be for the next people who come in or the workers or whatever. It's hard to explain. But when you're in that place, everything can be chaotic around you and you can be in the most peace and contentment. Mm-hmm. The light in there, it was different and time was different. Time started to change. Whereas you're sitting there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, days upon days, hours upon hours, and yet time almost stopped existing. Like the nurses, I remember, kept coming in and saying, oh, we feel bad for you. You're in here all alone. And I was like, I'm not alone. I didn't even realize time was going by. Because in his light, everything changes. In his presence, everything changes.
In his presence and under that light source, time definitely looks different because you're under an eternal light source.
Yeah.
At very least, you're transported into rich time rather than fallen time here on this earth. The original time that this earth was under, the earth was still traveling around the sun, but the time had no toil to it. In my estimation, and we're going to do a podcast on this at some point in time, because we've already talked about time a few times, but...
How many times can you say time?
The timeless time of the time of... Okay.
Okay.
Say that 7 times quickly. There is redeemed time, there is fallen time, and then there is eternal, which is no time. So there are different kinds of time. You evidently experienced redeemed time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, revolving around a different sun.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was very neat. And you had sent me a message at some point that you had been praying and the Lord said to you very clearly, this will come to nothing.
Yeah.
And then one day, the doctors just come in and they're like, oh, it was nothing.
That's such a cool story. I love that there's a portal there and that you slipped into a different redemption of time.
Yeah, and just this like confident ease, just knowing the next people that come here, they're going to be fine. They're going to meet you. Something's going to happen. It was comfortable. That's how I could word it. It wasn't this striving worship to try to open heaven and pull this down. It was just realizing it's available, realizing it's accessible, and realizing we have been given authority and power to release it on earth because it's meant to be here. Mm-hmm. Because that's his plan and his will and his desire.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And just agreeing with it. I agree with your desire for this room and everyone that enters.
That's so good, Karitas. You've had so many mic drops today, I don't even know what to say. Okay. I've got a couple more verses. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
John 9:5. While I am in the world, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. So what happens when Jesus leaves the world? Then who's the light of the world?
Well, he literally said it.
Okay.
You are the light of the world.
Okay, John 12:36 now. While you have the light, which is Jesus, believe in the light so that you may become sons of light. So Jesus says, while I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And then he says, while you have the light, believe in the light so that you may become sons and daughters of light. So Obviously, Jesus was the light of the world while he was in the world, but now he's left us here, and now we are that same light.
Yeah.
That is a pretty mysterious thought all round to me. But it's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still the light. Don't get me wrong. Don't misquote me.
Well, he's in you.
But he's in us.
You're
now.
one with him.
That's right.
Two became one.
We are united with him.
Like completely united, where you aren't even considered male or female or Jew or Gentile, Canadian or American. You're just one with Christ.
Yep.
There's this depth of unity that we don't need to be afraid to go there. We don't have to, be careful of what you're saying, Dean. No, literally, that's how close we are. He said it, and there's no fear in it because it's a place of perfect love. So there's no fear because there's no pride. There's no selfishness or self-motivated. It's just Jesus motivated. Yeah. Okay, Ephesians 5, 8-11. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Do you hear that wording, Dean?
Yeah.
Live, therefore, as children of light. There's your invitation. Live as children of light.
That's right.
For the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth.
Philippians 2:15. So that you will prove yourselves to be blameless and innocent, children of God above reproach in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you appear as lights in the world. And then one of my favorite ones, just to end off here, Colossians 1:12-14. Giving thanks to the Father who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. For he rescued us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son, which is a kingdom of light. Powerful verses, all of them.
We've been deceived into thinking that we need to defend darkness in our life as part of this normal part of our life.
Karitas, you just keep coming up with these statements. You're just blowing my mind over and over here again today.
Darkness and brokenness, not a normal part of this born-again life.
Do not normalize darkness in your life anymore.
Yeah. And sometimes when you're very used to doing something, it may be a little bit of a process for certain people to stop doing it.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be. It's just believing him and receiving what he says and then walking in the light just as he's in the light.
Like we were talking about last time, I think it was, put off.
Yeah.
Take that coat off.
Yeah. And honestly,
and put on the other one.
How can we ever expect to walk complete if we continually defend brokenness as a normal part of our life or darkness as a normal part of our life? Ups and downs, highs and lows, happies and crappies. There's this liberty and freedom and completeness available that we can walk in. He's not going to force us to walk in it, but it's there. And it's just as simple as arise and shine.
Yeah.
For the glory of the Lord rises upon you. And in Hebrews, he says, Jesus, being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his substance and upholding all things by the word of his power, sat down at the right hand of the majesty. So the brightness of his glory, we're one with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're made from uncreated light, it defies all the laws. The Father of lights is our Father. So we don't have to live with our main influence being the light of the sun.
Yeah.
Turn to a different world, a different dimension, and we can live under eternity.
Yeah. So let's do it.
There we go, Karitas. Wow.
That's an invitation if I ever heard one.
What a podcast.
Yeah.
So filled with light. I really didn't know what to expect today for this podcast.
Let's just talk about light.
Yeah, but look what's happened.
Wow.
All right, Karitas.
All right, Dean, let's live this week multidimensionally.
Yes, we are multidimensional technology.
From the realm of light.
That's right.
In the realm of light. Of the realm of light.
Yeah. That's where we're going to leave it today.
Glorious.
Glorious.
Just glorious.
All right. So have an awesome week, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as we have. And shine brightly because you are of uncreated light.
You are radiant.
So arise and shine.
Yeah, that's you.
Your light has come. The glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Bye.
Bye.